What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the House Hacking Mom, and today's video we're going to be talking all about how you can save money on your grocery budget using 5 tips that I'm going to give you. And this is going to be a multi-part series, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll see when the rest of my videos come out. Today's video we are specifically going to be talking about 5 ways to make your kitchen run more efficiently, which you will see really goes hand in hand with sticking to your grocery budget, and it's going to save you a ton of money. And make sure you stick around for that 5th and final tip because I really think it's going to surprise you. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video. My first tip is to choose one main store that you shop at and only go there once a week to buy your groceries. And this will make a big difference in your overall grocery budget. You will notice it despite the fact that you might not be shopping around for the best deals at multiple different stores. You don't need to use apps like Ibotta that are going to show you might get $3 back at this store versus 50 cents back at this store. All of that, I promise, is just a marketing gimmick. They know that the more times they get you to walk through the entrance of a grocery store, the more likely you are to spend money on something that you didn't plan on spending money on, even if it's just a pack of gum at the checkout counter. How do you choose a store that is going to be your main grocery shopping store? First, you want to choose something that is, number one, convenient as far as the commute, either from maybe your work or your house, and number two, that is cost effective. Now personally, I have chosen the store Aldi. It so happens to be less than 3 minutes down the road from my house, and honestly it tends to have the best, or at least very competitive, prices on the 3 main things: produce, protein, and dairy. If you can find a store that has consistently good deals on those 3 things, regardless of what they charge for packaged items or trendy, healthy items, those 3 are the most important in your budget. Once you have chosen the store that is most cost effective and convenient for you, now it's time to really get to know your store. You want to get to know what is their main sale day. For most grocery stores, Wednesday is the big sale day. That's when the sales from the previous week are over and they start their new sales, and usually that first day is when they will have the biggest savings of that sale week. But of course, every store is different. Look up your grocery store's weekly sales on the internet. No need to get anything in the mail, no need to print anything. Just look it up online and plan your meal planning around that sales paper. And usually it makes sense to do your meal planning on Tuesday so that you can see what the new sales are going to be the next day, and so on. When you really get to know a store, you're going to get to know what their regular prices are, so you're really going to recognize when they have a drop or an increase in a product price, and you can make adjustments to your budget accordingly. You'll notice things like, usually the first week of every month they have their big protein sales, their big meat sales, and then maybe the second week in the month they have their big produce sales. You'll start to notice patterns like that, and you can start to stock up on your groceries accordingly and actually save a lot more money than nitpicking and couponing at multiple different stores. So again, you want to choose one grocery store that you are mainly shopping at, and you're only going to shop there once a week. And in the famous words of Jordan Page, if you run out of milk, you don't eat cereal, and if you run out of bread, you don't eat toast. You get creative, you use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. My second tip to running an efficient kitchen is to have some get out of jail free meals that you always have ingredients for. So if you need to stretch a couple more days in between your grocery shopping, or you really plan on having a crock pot meal, but you didn't have time to put the stuff in the crock pot that morning, and now it's 30 minutes before dinner time and you don't know what you're going to put on the table, you want to have some what I call get out of jail free meals that you always have the ingredients for and that whip up really quickly and that aren't horribly unhealthy. For my family, those meals are homemade spaghetti. All you need to make a good homemade spaghetti sauce are ground beef, canned diced tomatoes, canned tomato sauce, and tomato paste, and an onion. That's it. If you have those ingredients, you can put together an awesome homemade spaghetti sauce and it'll be ready in under 30 minutes, and it's actually a nice meal. Of course, you also want to make sure you always keep 1 or 2 bags of frozen vegetables in your freezer. I pretty much don't use these for any other reason than if I am last minute coming up with a meal to eat. So I like to keep some frozen peas in my freezer, either to dump into something like chicken pot pie or to have alongside a last minute meal like this. The other ingredients that I keep on hand for last minute meals are breakfast food. So I always at least have the stuff to make pancakes, flour, milk, eggs, And I try to keep some sort of breakfast meat on hand, whether it's bacon, sausage, ham, something like that. And then the other get out of jail free meal that we have often is stir fry. So I always try to at least have some rice, some sort of protein, whether it's beef or chicken or even sausage works, and some sort of fresh vegetable like peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, whatever, get creative. And you'll notice that all of those meals come together really quickly. They come together usually in under 30 minutes so that it doesn't matter if you're coming home after a long day of work, you can get something semi-nutritious and homemade on the table. So again, just make sure that you have the ingredients for whatever meals that your family likes that comes together rather quickly that you can make, and you always keep these ingredients on hand. The enemy of killing your food budget is going out to eat last minute or last minute runs to the grocery store. Both of those things will destroy your budget. Like I said in the first tip, you want to make sure you are only going to the grocery store once a week, no exceptions. Tip number 3 to running an efficient kitchen is to make sure you do a brief kitchen inventory before you grocery shop and before you meal plan. And we're going to talk about meal planning later. But before you do either of those things, you need to do a brief inventory of your kitchen. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look through your refrigerator, because that tends to have the most perishable items in it. You're going to see what in here do I need to use up, what is getting close to expiring, what's getting close to not looking so great that I want to use up this coming week so that I don't have food waste. Food waste is a huge destroyer of a grocery budget, and the other destroyer of your grocery budget is buying duplicates, because you didn't look to see if you had the items, so you end up buying multiple, and before you know it, you have 3 different bottles of ketchup in your refrigerator because you didn't check first to see whether or not you had it. After you go through your refrigerator and you have picked out things that you want to make sure that you are going to use up in your meal plan for the next week, then you're going to go to your pantry and you're going to pull out things that you want to make sure you're starting to use up, and things that you can kind of fill in for the recipes that you're starting to think about based off of what you found in your refrigerator. So that's going to be stuff like your pasta, your rice, your quinoa, your barley, lentils, whatever. Lastly, you're going to look at your freezer and say, okay, what can I pull in here to really round out this meal plan that I'm starting to think about in my head? What protein do I have on hand? Do I have any frozen fruit that I can use for my breakfast? Do I have some bone broth saved up that I can use in the soups that I'm wanting to make? Do I have at least 1 bag of frozen vegetables that I want to make sure I keep on hand? So with those sorts of questions in mind, go through your kitchen, do a brief inventory, and try to form some sort of a meal plan based off of what you find in your kitchen. My 4th tip follows the 3rd tip, and of course it is to actually meal plan before you go to the grocery store. So with all those items that you either have in your brain bank or that you have written down that you want to use up, you are now going to sit down and start figuring out what exactly can I make with those items that I have. And of course, you want to pick meals that you have to supplement as little as possible with extra items that you need to buy from the grocery store. If you can make a full meal without having to buy anything from the grocery store, that's awesome. That is winner, winner, chicken dinner. If you find that you have some frozen salmon, angel hair pasta, and some broccoli, boom, you have a meal there and you do not have to buy anything to make it. And that's how you're really going to save on your grocery budget. You only want to buy things that you need to supplement your meals. And if you find that maybe you're getting a little bit low on an item, but hey, you can stretch it for another week, stretch it for another week. There's no reason to bring extra items, extra clutter into your home just to have tons of extra stuff on hand. The exceptions to this, I think, are when you're going to see sales on things that you know you will use. So if you're big into baking and you see your all-purpose flour brand that you really love and you see that it goes on sale, of course pick up another one. You know, things like protein, whenever chicken or beef has a big sale at the grocery store, even if I already have enough for the next week, I will usually pick up a package or 2, and then as soon as I get home, I will cut it up, divide it up into whatever portion size that my family prefers, and it goes straight into the freezer. I don't worry about using it or cooking it that week. And that way I will have it for the next week when those sales are not going on, and I can supplement and pull from that to make my meal plan for the next week. All right, tip number 5, and this is the tip that I told you might surprise you a little bit, something you may not have thought before when it comes to budgeting for your groceries. This tip is to not swallow hook, line, and sinker all of the health trends that you are going to see going on and that are super popular everywhere. I promise you 95% of all the health trends that you see on social media and promoted by grocery stores are marketing gimmicks, and that is all. As I've told y'all in previous videos, I am a nurse, I'm a healthcare professional. I do not just blatantly put out my personal opinion about something. If I am presenting something, it is because the research that I have found by reputable sources, this is what they say. Just as an example, organic food is marketed as being healthier and more environmentally friendly than conventionally farmed food, and that includes both animal products and produce. But the facts and scientific research, and I will link below my sources, even though there has been probably billions of dollars put into research to back up these two claims that are made about organic food, because of course everybody wants them to be true, but the research and the data does not support those two claims. Organic food is not shown to objectively have more nutritional value, and it is not shown to be more environmentally friendly than conventional farming methods. So with those two things in mind, when you look at whether or not you are going to buy the organic versus the conventional food product, just know that, just be educated on that fact, and know that just because it has that nice little green circle on it that says USDA organic certified doesn't mean it's any healthier for you or your family. I personally do not purchase organic products because I don't find that the evidence supports that it is any better for me and my family, and usually it is 1/3 to twice as expensive. And so our budget doesn't stretch for it, and because I am aware that most of it is really just a marketing gimmick, I don't have to feel guilty that I'm giving my family less superior food. It doesn't mean, of course, that there is anything at all wrong with organic farming or purchasing organic food. I think it is actually nice to buy organic food, but nice to me does not equal double the cost. Now, if you have some extra money and you want to give your family superior food products, I do think there is a big benefit to buying locally. There is research that shows that the less distance food travels, especially produce, the more nutrition it holds on to. So if you have a local farmer, a local produce market that you can buy your food from, that is awesome. It may actually be worth the extra price if you can find a local farmer that will sell you their pasture-raised eggs. Oh my goodness, those are amazing. You will see that the yolks of those eggs are just bright orange. They are not that pale yellow that you're going to see in regular conventional eggs. So I think there are a few limited places where health food trends might be worth a couple extra dollars, but just know that most of the time words like all natural, organic, non-processed, fermented, most of the time those words are really just marketing techniques that these companies know will cause people to buy it and pay a more premium price for that product. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the nutritional value. The only way to really know what the nutritional value of an item is to turn it over and read the nutrition facts on the back and see how many ingredients there are. If you're looking at a packaged product, you want to see something that has 5 ingredients or less, and you want to make sure you can pronounce everything on the label. If there are a bunch of words on there that you can't pronounce, odds are it's very highly processed and not actually very beneficial or good for you. So I hope you found this helpful and educational. Again, hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you will know as soon as my videos come out for running a budget-friendly kitchen and to sticking to your grocery budget. I am the House Hacking Mom. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.